Hey guys, and welcome back to part 3 for our tracker tool. In today's lesson we're going to go back and work with our track motion. So we're going to be creating this cool effect where it looks like we're manipulating the text in our hand. So we're going to have the text in the middle of our hand, and when we're moving our hands left and right and moving them closer together, the text will react accordingly. So let me show you what I mean. Alright, so as you can see, it's a very cool effect. This one might take a little bit longer than just tracking the single point like we did in part 1, just because depending on how quickly we move our hand, the tracker tool can lose its tracking point very easily. So in this one we're kind of going to guide it all the way through, just so we can get a nice end result. And that way as well, after this lesson you should be very comfortable with using the track motion. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so once you guys have made your new project, you can just go ahead and drag in your little smiley face and the video that we're going to be editing. So I'll supply the video. It's just a video that I quickly made to demonstrate this tutorial. So we'll just drag in our footage, and as you can see, I just took a black pen and I drew two little black circles on the palms of my hands. I didn't have a black marker, which would have actually been way better, but just so we could track it to something, because it's the tracker needs to look for something, and if we had to just track my skin color here, it would think my whole hand is the tracking point, and it would just probably fly all over the place. So we've gone ahead and given it 2 points here by means of a pen, and for the most part it works, but we will have to guide it through. Okay, right? So what we can do to make it a little bit easier is we can come down here to the effects and presets, and we can just take a black and white filter to drag it over, and then make our yellow to about 150 and our greens to about 200. So this will make it a tiny bit easier for the tracker to determine the light from the dark. Okay. Also, I had an issue with the shadows, unfortunately. So as you can see there, where the shadow gets overlapped over my hand there, it also causes some problems, but it's fine. Like I said, we're going to be guiding it through the whole comp. Alright, so we can come down here to window and click tracker, and we'll just click on track motion here. Okay, and then we're going to do, we've done position and we've done position and scale. Now we're doing position, rotation and scale. Okay, so click all three of them, and then we're going to move our first track point over our little black mark there. Okay, and we'll give it quite a lot of room to find it, and then for our second one over that at least this one is a bit darker, so my left hand here will probably be a bit easier to track than my right hand. Alright, so once you've set up the two spots, you're just going to analyze forward. Oh, before we analyze forward, we need to create our null object. So we'll just quickly create our null object, and we'll rename it to, we'll just rename it to node1. Alright, and then make sure edit target should be node1, and now we can go ahead and analyze forward. Now just keep an eye on it, because as soon as my hand, there we go, it loses the tracking point right around here. Okay, so we'll just come one back, and actually it loses it first over here on my left hand. So we will analyze forward, and we'll click on analyze one frame forward. Okay, so it's just going to jump by one frame. Okay, we're going to click that, and then we're just going to move it back to our little black mark that we made with the pen. Analyze forward, do the same thing, make sure this one now has lost it, so we'll just drag it. Analyze forward again, and just repeat this process. Okay, that one's fine. So now we'll just click on analyze forward one by one until we see it lose itself again. So we'll click. Okay, let's actually play it a bit. Okay, surprised it didn't lose itself there. And oh, there it lost it. Okay, so then that's fine. So we'll just come back here, and here in the next frame here. So if we analyze forward, you can see it jumps off. Okay, so we'll jump back, and we'll just move it onto our mark again. Analyze forward, move it onto our mark again. Analyze forward. Alright, can let it go now for a little bit. Oh, there it's lost it a little bit again. So we'll come back, analyze forward, analyze forward. Like I said, this one we will have to guard it, because our lighting is a bit wrong, and it doesn't, the tracking point that we've made isn't very dark, and it moves around quite fast. So whenever I'm moving my hand very fast, it will lose it. So we just analyze forward. Okay, that looks good so far. And this should be the part where I clap. So just play it. Okay, here it will probably lose it, and it's not. Oh, this isn't where we clap it. Okay, so we'll let it continue to track. Looks good, looks good. We're doing one more. Where we're moving our hands around, and it's staying on the tracker points. Okay, here it's lost it again. So we just analyze one forward and make it pop on our tracker point. Analyze forward, move it onto our tracker point. Okay, let's just move it up a bit to see what we're doing. Oh, and we've just lost it again here now. So we'll move back one frame forward, move it back to our point. Move it back to our point. Alright, so if you guys know what you're doing, you can just obviously, if you haven't already, you can just pause the video, do it on your side, and then just skip to where you can see I am done with this part. But we should be close to finishing. Okay, just play it. Ish. Here it's lost it again. Okay, move it there, analyze forward. Analyze forward. Okay. Alright, so this should be the part where we clap. And this is going to happen quite fast, so we will analyze. You see it's already lost it on this side. Okay, one more forward. It's completely lost it now, so we'll adjust both of them, and this will, like I said, this will happen with anything that's moving very quickly, so this part will require you to set each one individually. Okay, and last one. Cool, so that did take a little bit of time to do, but you should be pretty comfortable now with going back and changing your points and overwriting them until you're very comfortable and you're happy with what you have. So there's no like jittery or where it loses it for a frame and flies back in. Okay, so now we can just click apply, and we'll just okay. Okay, so now we can come down, just collapse these. We can just take our black and white filter off and come to the beginning of our comp, and we can add our text. So we'll call this tracker. Okay, we'll just call this tracker. Alright, place it around there. We can add our happy facing. Hello, happy face. Don't know why I didn't want to drag in there for a sec. Okay, so we can scale our happy face down a little bit, and we can put it at the top here, or maybe we can put it here, and then we can duplicate our text, and we can make this one a bit smaller. You can still animate your text and make it rotate and all that fancy stuff while it's being tracked. So if we want this to, let's say, rotate from behind, we can do that. So we can just make this a text. Okay, and then we can make it a 3D layer, and then we can come here to the transform, and at the X rotation. Okay, first we're going to have to change the anchor point, right? Because as we're trying to rotate it, you can see it's rotating from the bottom. We want to have it rotate from the top. So we're just going to change our anchor point to be at the top. Okay, and then we'll just move it up. And now we can have it start like that. So we'll keyframe, move in a little bit, and keyframe it at 0 degrees, so it's going to rotate in. You can, if you want, you can add like a little swing effect, so you can let it swing in maybe from this point, so just under half a second, then it will swing in, and we can make it, can actually make it go above. So now it comes in from the back and it swings forward, and we can make it then swing back a little bit. Okay, it's not the nicest swing, but you get the idea. Okay, I could sit here and perfect this, but you guys can see that you can still animate it while it's being tracked. Alright, so now we can just make our keyframe apparently node 1, so it's using the node 1 keyframes. And now if we play through, you can see our cool little tracker text right here. Okay, so one more thing that we can do is we can just try and mask out the little tracker pen marks that are made. So you can just come and click on your ellipse tool, and then you can just draw an ellipse over the spot, and then make your full color. Click on your eyedropper tool, and then just select a surrounding color, okay, as well as your stroke. Just select your eyedropper and just select also about the same color. And then what you can do is you can come here to effects and presets, and we can type in blur, and we can give it a Gaussian blur, okay, and we can up the blurriness to about maybe 3. Okay, so if you want to see what that blur looks like, you can just hide the layer, and that's what it's masking. So we can do this to the other side as well. So we'll come down, click on our ellipse tool, drag over the mask, come to full color, click on the eyedropper, click OK, and click OK. Okay, now assuming we've done that, they're there, but now you guessed it, we're going to have to track them with the single track tool, so they always stay over our markers. So we'll just do it for the one. So we'll come here to this one that we'll track. I'm just going to take that one away, and we'll create a new node. So we'll create a new null object, and we'll name this node cover, because it's going to be a cover. Okay, and then we can come to our layer here, and we can come to our tracker tool. So now we're going to only track position, so you can untick rotation and scale, and you can come here and click on your track motion, click and drag it to the part that we're going to mask. Okay, and then make the edit target our node cover. Great. And then we'll just analyze it. Okay, so here is where you can see it's lost the tracker point. So again, we would just move it forward, analyze forward, analyze forward. Okay. So I'm just going to do it up until here, because you guys know what's going to be happening for the next 5 minutes or so. So we'll just click on apply and click OK. So now we'll make our node cover, our shape layer, and we'll come down and we'll select node cover. So now we'll just move it on top here. Just make sure it starts over the mark, okay? So now when we play it, you can see for as long as we told it to up until this point, you won't see the black mark, okay? So if we play it back now, just have it render. Let's just quickly get rid of where it's no longer, when it's no longer tracking. We don't want to see this layer anymore. Okay, so come back to the beginning here. We'll just render it quick. Okay, so there was one more thing we can do quick. I'm sure you guys saw it. Is when I clap here, the text doesn't disappear. It just stays extremely small. So we can quickly fix that. So we'll come to the end here. We'll zoom in. And right here, we'll select all the layers, so our text, our tracker, and our happy face. Okay, we'll drop it down, click the transform, keyframe the opacity, move a frame in, just one frame in, and make the opacity 0. Alright, so now when I clap my hand, it will disappear. Awesome. So that was tracking text in your hand and kind of making it like you're manipulating the text. It's a really cool effect. You can do a lot with this. You can track it to the end of your fingers. So if you're making a video where you're trying to explain things, you can pretty much say like point A with your one finger that comes out, and you can have text explaining your point. You can do all kinds of cool things, but this is how you would do that. Alright? So yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. We'll do one last tracking tutorial as a small little homework assignment. So I'll give you guys a footage to track, and then I will as well do it as a lesson, but you guys must try and do it on your own and then refer back to the lesson if you guys are still struggling. So we'll do that, and then we'll move on to some nice way more advanced intro templates and we can start learning ray trace 3D, and yeah, there's still quite a bit more we can learn. So hope to see you guys there.